Hello and good morning. This is Andy McKeon, your host here on Food, Fitness, and Finances, where we're trying to help you lay a firm foundation now and for the rest of your life. Okay, so yes, this is a lot about food and a lot about fitness because I think you do that every day, but it's also about your finances. We just did a podcast. Just did a podcast the other day. Actually, it should have landed today, so I'll try to stay a week ahead in case things happen on using a 1031 in real estate. So if you're into that sort of stuff, let me know. I'm happy to talk to you guys. I'm happy to be a mentor or a guy along with you on your journey or just to give you my advice. So I did a thing this weekend and a question came up that I think I'm going to merge together. So I have this presentation that I do. It's called The 5 Pillars of Health and Fitness and Longevity, which is taken from a whole lot of places and boiled down into my 2 cents on the subject. So the 5 pillars are how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. And in the end, the one that matters the most is connection. So I've got right here on this page, the Survival Podcast is a group of people that I'm connecting with or people like me. I'm really pushing for it. It's something that means a lot to me. I got my own CrossFit gym. And I got some links in here. If you go to CrossFitGarage.com/TSPC, you're going to see a bunch of links I've been putting together for them. So I'm helping them with this journey of health and fitness. But I have my own crew here, right? I have my buddies that play board games, that play D&D, that go camping, that go adventure racing. So I'm trying to pull these people together because connection is the key for that better, longer life. Yes, you need money. Yes, you need health. Yes, you need fitness. But connection is it. And yes, I think you need to have the world as a friendly place, not a hostile place. So today I'm going to cover some of the connection and just some thoughts and ideas. One, I do not have the answer. This is just my journey. I'm 50. I've got 4 children. I've got 1 wife, and Verity and I are still here at the house. 3 of the kids have moved off to go to college. One's about to, well, I guess they got about a year or 2 left in college. And then Evie's going to graduate high school in 2 years. So everyone will be gone. So we're in that transition phase. And there are some of you guys at the gym that are having babies right now. So the phase of life doesn't care. Time marches on. Everyone's in a different phase. We've got 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. Heck, even right now, while I'm 50, there are 16, 70-year-olds. I know, it's crazy, right? So the phase of life is changing, and not everybody's in the same phase at the same age. For example, my dad, the 3 kids in his first family are all around like 53, right? And then I've got 2 younger sisters that are about 30. So he's just now finishing up, like in his nearly 80s, finishing up all that side, right? Anyway, my point is, these phases of life aren't age dependent. They're what's going on in your life dependent. And not everybody can walk the walk with you. So you may turn to your buddy and say, hey, I'm already like semi-retired. How about you? And he's like, no, I'm putting in the grind because I spent too much money. Now I got to like really backfill to make some retirement money so I can retire. Like, okay, it's a different life. It's a different way to live. They're not going to understand the same sort of things. What I'm hoping to do with this podcast is help you on connection and understanding the phases as you become, I'm going to just say 50, but it doesn't have to be 50. It's that phase of life where you're more financially secure. You've been working for a while. You've made good choices, hopefully. Your kids are moving out. And now you're back to, this is, so I just got done with a long weekend. I had some buddies, a bunch of computer sciencey guys. We all went up to the mountains for 3 days or a long weekend. It was great. We almost did absolutely nothing besides hang out, eat, and play board games. It was fantastic. We did make a campfire and we're down by the river, all that stuff. But the whole purpose was just to hang, connect, and play board games. And we did, and it was awesome. And at 50, or 51, I don't really do that much. I think maybe I've gone on, well, if you take adventure racing out, there's less than a handful of Andy-only adventures. Because I've had kids and I have a wife and I really want to give to those things. But now that I'm getting older, I have time, right? Everyone's got their own stuff to do. So I'm finding it very important to have these people to connect with. And if you don't have them to connect with, you don't have people to go do a thing with. So my first piece of advice is to figure out your circles of interest and then push them together to overlap. So you get that Venn diagram of things you want to do. So I'm going to start this off a little bit different. If you're watching, you'll see all these pictures. If you're not, then, well, I'll try to explain it the best I can. But to show you from my point of view, without me even really considering this for years, what's been the most important thing? One of them is to just take a picture tour. So on Facebook,
They give you the ability, let me X out of that. They give you the ability to do a banner picture. They didn't originally. It was just your this is me, what do they call it? Your profile picture. So you have a banner picture. So I'm going to click on my banner picture. My first picture is my family minus Levi. He wasn't there at my sister's wedding. So connection with the people that I love the most. My next one is my family at the beach with our dog, Retta. The next one is my family, years and years ago at Six Flags doing that, when you go to the Western place and they dress you up and you get to like the boys hold guns and girls hold feather fans or whatever. So anyway, the next one is a picture of people from the gym doing gym stuff. We're all standing together taking a picture. Interestingly enough, this picture, it's only from 2023. So that's 2 years ago. It's actually it's almost 2.5 years ago, right? Well, anyway, I see a lot of the same faces, and I love that. I mean, these people that I've been moving with for years. It's a great diagram, right? Or great overlapping Venn diagram. Next is Camp Ocoee. It's a bunch of our friends. I got the Gaddises, I got the Lotts, I got the Lebrecks. We've got other childhood friends that came up with Olivia, Evan and Levi. Next picture. Well, that's actually the same one. It's got all the kids in there. So there was a lot more kids. Another picture, I think this is probably a different year because we go twice a year. But it's Camp Ocoee with a whole bunch of people that I love to be around. So it's connection. I know you're supposed to take pictures of things like this and put them on there, but mine doesn't change. Here's a picture of me coaching soccer. So the girls, I think it was the 2008 girls, and they were 12 or 13. Again, connection. Another picture of Camp Ocoee with my buddies, and this is a long time ago. Yep. What is it? I got dates. That's 2020. Wow, that's probably, did they even let us go? That's funny. We're all there together, but they did let us go. It was 2020. That was a weird time. There's a 2018 from Camp Ocoee. Again, a whole bunch of people with connection. That's funny. I didn't realize I put this many of them from Camp Ocoee. It's a big piece of my life, so I've got a whole bunch of people. Anyway, the point is, connection is key. You see all these people? Oh, look at that. Stephanie went. I forgot Verity's sister went to Camp Ocoee. Oh my gosh. This goes back to 2012. I guess my first banner picture ever was 2012, and I left it there for 3 years. But it was Camp Ocoee. It's connection. Okay. The reason I put those up there is just to highlight the fact that I didn't even know I really wanted the people. It wasn't pictures of me doing a thing. It wasn't a picture of an event I went to. It's a place with people that I know and love, right? And so we're overlapping that stuff. I love these people. They came with me to a place. They made it on here. I could even do the same thing on my profile picture. And I know, how did I do that? See profile pictures? You're going to see most of my profile pictures aren't me. I keep having people tell me, Andy, it's your profile picture so people can see you in the thing. If you put your kids up there, they think it's your kids' account and not yours. I'm like, all right. But I've got me and my dog. I got Evie doing a thing. I've got Randy and his wife and Eddie at an adventure race. Olivia and I doing country line dancing, the CrossFit G. Levi and my wife at his graduation. Evie and I at an adventure race. Evie at an orienteering race, one of the kids skiing, I can't tell because they got their helmet and mask on. Evie learning to drive. 3 of my kids getting their CrossFit level 1. Evan getting his 500 WOD shirt. Levi and Evie getting their 200 or their 100 WOD shirt. Evan and I at the gym Christmas party. Evie at soccer. Levi and Evan that would have been homecoming. Evie and her friends. I am drawing a blank on your names, kiddo. Sorry if you listen to this. I know you don't listen to my podcast. Lila, of course. But Maya, there you go. Woo, that was a tough one. Sorry. There you together. Me and 2 of my kids. Anyway, my point is, there's a cute one of Evie doing a thing. It's not a profile picture of me. And my friends are like, dude, dog, put yourself up there. My point in saying that is this. If I look at the clues of my own life, I wanted connection. And was I lacking it? I don't know. Was I trying to lean into it? Probably. The pictures are saying so. And so now at 50, I've listened to a lot more things, read a lot more books, and I understand that, hey, connection is the final key to the piece of the puzzle of you living that happy, long life. Yes, we need to be healthy. Yes, we need to be fit. Yes, we need to have money. Yes, we need to have good mindset. Yes, we need to recover and sleep well. But this is it right here. Okay, so I'm going to go through a short little outline of things I put together for
you guys to think about if maybe you are in this phase and you're like, yeah, I don't know, I'm struggling. And I struggle, but I ask a lot of questions. I am very open. Weirdly, one of my buddies said, hey, it is therapy to do these podcasts because you get to talk about the things and get it off your chest or put your ideas together. I will build out an outline, then I'll run it through ChatGPT and it says, you're kind of an idiot when you write these things. Let me do it a little bit better. And so it does help me put my thoughts into, I guess, a neat bubble wrapped binder, I don't know, whatever. Put it together, categorize it, and then allows me to actually do something about it, which I think is a big part that most people don't do, is to doing things. Okay, I'm going to leave you on this picture. Actually, I'm going to put it right here. So it's going to be crossbows and catapults. If you were from the 70s and 80s, you're going to remember this game. It came out in 83, so you had to be from the 80s. Because we did a lot of board games, I'm just going to leave it sit here. I love this game. When I was a kid, my brother and I played the crap out of this. You built blocks, you had this little crossbow and a catapult thing, and you put rubber bands on it, and you shot these discs at each other. I mean, it was dangerous. People got hurt, fingers got smashed, but that's what you did in the 80s. At least didn't have any live electric wires. Anyway, all right, let me get back on track. So I do want to acknowledge some of the feelings that you will feel here, and they're probably along the journey too, but this is a specific place. I have pride for what we've accomplished. I have confusion for what we've accomplished. I also have sadness at the loss of the things we didn't accomplish or the things we put priority on that I feel like are not really a priority. Like we put a lot of time and money and effort into soccer, competitive soccer. And yes, it did a thing, and maybe I shouldn't go back and fix it, but I feel like I would. I can't. All I can do is say, think about it, ask a lot more questions, really drive down into the why of what you're doing, right? There's excitement for the life that we live. There's sadness. There was uncertainty, and now I'm a bit more certain. And as you put the pieces together of your life, you can semi-turn the uncertainty into more probable, right? So like Aaron Vincent's company with Matt Decker and the guys from the gym, their business is helping you in retirement. If you're unsure, hire a professional and they will help you with the uncertain parts, right? If you're unsure about your fitness, hire a professional. We'll help you. If you're unsure about any of this stuff, you can hire someone or talk to someone. So Jamie Thomas is I'm going to get it wrong, Jamie. If you listen to this, I am so sorry. Psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, psychotherapist. She's one of those. She is a person that'll talk to you and help you work through your emotions. It's funny. I said to her the other day, there was a meme or a reel or whatever, and it said, guy going, hey, to you psychotherapists, have you ever cured anybody? And he laughed. He's like, no. The joke was, this doctor doesn't cure anybody, but really the joke is it's uncurable. We live in the condition of life, and you're going to have these ups and downs. You need someone to talk to. If you don't have someone to talk to, pay for someone to talk to, and they'll help you get your friends to talk to you. Anyway, okay. So you're going to have a lot of mixed emotions. I think the biggest thing right now is Verity and I don't feel, well, I'm not going to speak for her. She doesn't express it, so she probably doesn't feel it, but maybe she does. We don't express loss for what the change we're in, but I have a lot of friends that do. And there is resentment. I know from the parent perspective, they work their ass off to give their kids a step up in life and advantages that they just didn't have for themselves. And their kids kind of piss it away or aren't really thankful or are saying, I'm out of here and I am out of here, right? So they went to college or they moved on and they're not looking back and they don't even care. And the parents are like, I don't understand what happened. I don't either. I routinely tell my kids I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying the best that I can, and I love you very much. I do openly admit that I raise the kids differently because they are different. Okay, let me move on to another subject. So as you build up, you can look back and say, hey, I have laid a foundation for them. Hopefully it goes well. I hope it's a bad strategy. You should pray or fast, right? But we hope that it goes well. Here's a huge piece that's hard to get over in my heart. My kids are really intelligent. I want them to use that intelligence to get a degree that'll put them in a job the degree is tough because they're using their brain. The job is tough and pays well because it requires someone that'll get the degree that uses their brain. So yes, you're going to college, and yes, you could pick anything, but maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should go a little bit harder. But if they don't, it's not your fault. It doesn't reflect on you. they have a life. Just like if you look at the other way, does my parents or does my choices reflect on my parents? Now, sometimes you can be like, hell yeah, it does. I know I am a very specific way to thwart how my parents were or to engage in what I thought was really good from my parents, right? So I'm a very active dad like my dad was. He was a sales guy that traveled all the time, yet he was my soccer coach. And looking back on that, I don't even understand how he made that work. He traveled a lot, and maybe we only had one soccer night or soccer practice, one night of soccer practice a week. I don't even remember how it worked, but he was there, and he was there a lot. Yet I know he traveled a lot. And it's interesting to me now. So I'm going to share something with you guys from the kids as they've grown up and now they're in college, right? So one of them said, man, what was it that he said? Let me pause and think about the story real quick. Okay, so Levi, we're out there doing a thing in the chicken area, building a covering for it. And he said, Dad, I've got to tell you, you did this very inefficient. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about it. What do you mean? And so we talked about it, and he's open. He's like, you could have done this and done that, and I think this and this and that. I said, okay, that is true. And you know what? I thought the same thing. So he was basically saying, Dad, you're an idiot for not seeing this stuff. I thought you were smarter than that. Maybe not in those words, but I think that's what he was trying to get across. Like, don't you know better? And so I turned to him and said, essentially, my problem through life has been that everyone finds me aggressive. I don't feel aggressive, but they're like, wow, Andy, you're very intense and you're very like passionate about whatever it is you're saying. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I thought I was just talking. When we do stuff together, like when we were mowing and you tried to put diesel into the push mower, I flipped the gasket and I went off on you. He's like, yeah, you did. I said, in this project that we've done for the last 5 hours, did I yell at anybody? He's like, oh, actually, no. I said, did I call anyone a dumbass? He's like, actually, no. I said, did I have to say I was going to shove my foot up anybody's ass? He's like, no, I don't think you did. I was like, okay. I gave up being more efficient in order to fix a problem that I know I have, which is everyone thinks, and maybe I am, and I'm taking it for true, I react too aggressively to the people I love. So let me back that down. The point I'm trying to say here is you teach your kids, but you're always one step ahead because, you're 50 and they're only 20. They can't know what you know. But I am appreciative of the lessons that I've given him and that lesson right there that you're not done yet. When he is the standard 18-year-old boy who thinks he knows everything, and he does know a lot of stuff, and he is usually right on a lot of things. So Levi, if you're listening, keep it up, you're good, but stay humble, buddy. So that same thing can happen with other kids. So there's a lesson to be learned, and I'm glad that you are learning those, but you're not done learning yet. So you're going to see all that all the time. And I think you need to learn to celebrate that, not only with them, but inside. Like, man, I'm doing a good thing. I didn't do what it was. I have practiced. I have grown. Okay. I guess on the idea of celebrating too, I was the asshole dad at soccer who would yell at my kids, your kids, the coaches, and the referees. And I probably wasn't that bad, but I'm going to say I was. And then one day it occurred to me that nobody cares and the kid doesn't care. And all I really care about is I want them to play well. So I took a lesson from somebody else and they said, when you come off the field, just tell them, hey, Olivia, I really enjoyed watching you play soccer today. All right, pause there. I love technology. You can see Ollie, the Great Pyrenees. Ollie, can you say hi? He's probably going to scratch on the door too much. He doesn't want to stay, but he wanted to. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to let him back out. I'm going to pause you guys again. Anyway, I think I was talking about soccer. I said, hey, Olivia, I really enjoyed watching you play soccer today. I can't wait for the next game. And that's it. I'd stop giving them critiques. And you know what they knew? They knew what they did right and wrong. I didn't have to tell them any of that. Celebrate the wins. That's an easy one. That's a win. They played soccer, right? But celebrate those other wins. The other one is, I think if you can have a vision or a purpose, or we called it in our family a McCann Kids Anchor, we had some values and a saying that we would aim towards so that when they are like, hey, Dad, can I do drugs? I'm like, well, what about our vision or purpose, our anchor? Is that part of it? And they're like, yeah, no, it's not really part of it. I'm like, okay, so drugs are off the table. And they got into that early, understanding that that anchor, that principle, the vision, right? So I'm actually doing this thing right now with a friend of mine. She does a Living Free in Tennessee. Nicole Sauce, she's doing My 3 Things, and in that developing a vision and a purpose. And I'll say this, her lessons are great. I love it. But in addition to that, because I use ChatGPT so much,
I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, give me my mission and vision based on everything you know about me. Do you know me well? And it's like, yeah, I know you pretty good. And I wrote it. I was like, that's pretty good. I probably would have written that. And then we retooled it. So it helped me go into her sessions with an outline and a rough draft that I could refine. Anyway, so if you have a vision or a family vision or a personal vision, I think that's going to be helpful to you. Also set you on the direction of this connection, because I think we let them go. You're going to find that connection is going to be something, you're going to have things like church and Bible. That's connection to God or that higher being. Yes, I am a Christian. I believe in that. I'm not very religious, but I am very, I don't know, I believe, whatever that would be. I grew up Catholic, so they kind of messed me up a lot. And now I do, well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's a whole nother thing. This is a weird thing, man. I don't care what religion you are. I've never felt called to go on missions or to witness to the lost. Weirdly, what I feel compelled to do is keep those that are alive longer. That's it's what I'm doing now. So I guess that's weird, right? I don't know. Help people be healthy. Help people, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Anyway, moving off of that. So that could be part of your connection, though, is that church or that environment like that that's gathering people that are of like-mindedness, right? Okay, so there is a time coming for all of you having babies that you will be an empty nester. It is a real thing, and there are feelings that go along with it that you're not really expecting. I think maybe the hardest one is your children want to live their own life, and you want them to, but that means you're not a big part of it. And that's the hard part, because right now you are a big part of it. You're going to see this when your last kid drives. You will see this huge freedom. It's I know some of you guys have kids that are so young. You're like, this phase of life doesn't even make sense to me. But let me back it up some. When they can walk, you don't have to carry them anymore. That's a little bit easier. Of course, it's a little bit harder because now they can walk. They can put their tongue in all the sockets, whatever, right? This is the good one. When the youngest kid finally turns to you and says, on the toilet, I've got this, you're like, wait, what? I don't have to wipe anyone else's butt? This is marvelous. That's a step of freedom. There are other ones, like there's a day coming when they're going to wake up. They're going to wake up and you're going, sorry, I hit pause accidentally a couple of times. So I jittered there and I don't know how to fix these things. You get one take Andy all the time. Anyway, you're going to wake up and they're going to be like, Mom, Dad, I'm hungry. And you're going to say, go fix yourself something to eat. And they will. And you're like, wow. Okay, same thing, except driving. Same thing, except high school, college, and they're gone. The problem with that is they don't need you in any way, really, if you've done it right. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It is loss, but it's the butterfly loss. So the caterpillar turned into a butterfly. Let them go and fly. I would love to say if you've done it right, they'll call and text, whatever. I just had a conversation with Evan for 35 minutes. And this is what I was supposed to be doing. But when your son calls you, pick up the phone and talk. Stop everything. Give them the attention, because this is it's far and few between. Levi, on the other hand, I have texted 13 times and he has yet to respond. I can see him on Life 360 moving, so I know he's alive, but that's it. Olivia will bounce back back and forth. Evie, it's usually a 3-letter combination of letters that make some sort of word that I don't know what it is, like TBL, TTY, talk to you later or something. I'm like, I don't even know what you're trying to tell me. Take the engagement where you can, all right? Do feel the loss. Breathe it in. That is love. It's not loss. You love what you had. You still have something. Don't let it go away. The other hard part is shifting your identity. If you don't have purpose and busyness, sometimes busy is good enough. Just be busy. Then you will wallow in some of those emotions and go down roads you don't need to go to. So find purpose and meaning in other ways. You can volunteer. You can go into groups, whatever, right? You need to re-identify that you're a human being with a mission, vision, and purpose that is outside of the kids. For a while, it was children, and now it's different, right? You succeeded in that. The pieces of the puzzle are different. It's not gone, it's just different, and you need to have that. So be thinking, I think a mistake that I made as we went down this road was I
I don't know if it's a mistake. I feel it is. I feel I would do something a little bit different. Let me go with that because I don't know if it's a mistake. Verity and I decided early on that we were going to save money, save a lot of money. We are two engineers. We lived in an apartment that cost us like $700 a month. I drove her old car. She had bought a car because she lived with her mom for 2 years as I was trying to graduate. So we had very little debt. We made good money. We had like, I don't know, $700. And then maybe we spent $2,000 a month. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. This was like 1990s. But we saved a lot of money, and that was part of who we were. We would work hard now so we could have it easier later. She stopped working when we started having kids, maybe not exactly immediately, but eventually. And then eventually we were started to buy rental property because, hey, it's a great idea. And we invested into that. Yes, it does trap all your money somewhere. So no, I cannot go out and buy a Tesla. That would take me a while to figure that one out. But it provides an avenue of income that's not tied to stock markets or other people or whatever. It is other people I have to rent, but you know what I'm saying. It's a passive income. The problem is, not the problem, it's a good thing, especially while you're still working. But it's very passive. I don't really need anybody, especially with the internet now. I can do all sorts of stuff. My biggest things are any of the electronic payments, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Strike, any of that stuff, Zelly, YouTube, I can fix anything, and Zillow, it like normalized everything we do for getting people in and out. It's beautiful. I say that to tell you I don't have a team of people I work with. Yes, I've got CrossFit Garage. That is my team of people. Yes, but you see how this fits together, right? So what I probably should have done is never left fully the business world and contracted back with them or something, right? I didn't really, I'm an electrical engineer from Georgia Tech. I don't really use that anymore. Do I need to? No, I'm a landlord just like my buddy down the street who went to college for basket weaving, whatever, right? And he's a landlord. Great. We ended up in the same place. I'm sure our finances look different to some degree, but we're basically doing the same thing. What I'm trying to say is, if you can see that coming or listen to somebody who's ahead of you, let's say you're having kids, you're on your second kid, maybe you just had one in January, and let's say your job is working in the health industry. I don't know. There's all those clinics popping up everywhere. They're like less than a minute away. Those things are everywhere. Let's say there are a lot of ladies who had babies recently that are in the health industry. That's actually funny. That's true. Okay, so this is a good example. Don't leave fully. Is there a way that you could still do a thing? Even if it's simple stuff like, hey, we've got a phone log of things we have to do. I'll be the guy or guy on the phone doing the calls. Or I guess these days it's the internet. I'll do some internet work. But don't leave it all together so you still have a resume and a group of people that are building up so that when you hit this phase, you're like, wow, I have a lot of time. As an example, I was probably spending 2 hours a day driving Evie around, teaching her to drive in that last 15-year, right? That last 15-year-old session. And when she could drive, and we trusted her, because I drove with her every day for 2 hours, basically, I'm like, yeah, be free to go. I got back 2 hours of my life. I'm like, whoa. Actually, it was even more than that, because now I didn't have to drive to go get her and go somewhere else, right? So it's probably a little bit more, maybe 2 hours a day. But anyway, don't leave that stuff all the way. Keep doors open. Don't close them down all the way. You may think I want to. I am telling you, don't close them down all the way. Don't burn bridges. Keep those doors open. It gives you an opportunity for growth later on. Who will you become? Maybe I don't want to be that person anymore, but maybe you do. Or I think probably the other thing that you don't consider as you go through life is the number of people we meet. Like the garage, CrossFit Garage, our gym has been awesome. I have met some super awesome people that aren't at the gym anymore that I'm still friends with today. I've met a lot of people that I'm not friends with, right? So that happens too, of course. The majority is people I don't know anymore. But I actually say, if anybody has been at the gym for like a year and they said, hey, Andy, can you help me move a thing with your truck? I'd be like, heck yeah. So that's a weird one. Are they friends? Are you friendly? I don't know. I don't know where that really falls into it, but I don't know if they fit the connection I am really looking for, which is, again, overlapping those diagrams. Does it have to be all of them? Nah, I just think it's good. You have that there's a lot of energy and brain power that goes into the same things and it builds you up, right? It's not like I really don't like painting. I'm just not good at it. So if you're like, I'm a huge painter, let's do this thing. I'd be like, I am going to be the pooper on you. I'll go because you want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. but maybe I do like, well, I know I don't like painting, but it could be something else like woodworking. Maybe I like woodworking. I don't know. I should have never done that. So maybe I do. Okay, so keep your opportunities open. Something else I'd like to share that was kind of interesting was I did that StoryWorth book. So Verity bought a subscription where they'd ask you one question a week, 52 questions, and you build it into a book. It was very interesting to go back and reflect on that stuff. I would even suggest doing stuff like that for free. Just go on Google and say, give me 50 questions to answer over the year, or 52 or whatever. Put it in a Word document, and you're going to, even if it's any questions, it doesn't matter what the questions are, you're going to start understanding which questions are more valuable and start editing the questions to give you the ability to give a better response. And I think it's going to help you understand yourself. It's kind of like those, the dating apps. Evan just did one for UGA. So I think it's a Valentine's thing that started at Georgia Tech and spread out. And it's I kept calling it Plan B, but I think Plan B has a different connotations. It's that like pregnancy drug. So it's not that type of Plan B, but it's like, hey, if Plan A, I'm going to meet someone at college, doesn't work, then Plan B, you can meet like someone online. It was something like that. It's not called Plan B, but anyway, he said pretty much everyone had like a 99.1, 2, or 3 in the matchups. He said him and this one girl were 99.99. He's like, that's just crazy. So that's overlapping the circles. And those two happen to overlap really well. Okay, let me move on. All right, so you're going to have to focus on your passion. You're going to have to pursue some dreams. You want that health and longevity. And you want to have, again, that personal vision or purpose, that develop that for yourself, right? So the first thing about that is focus on your passion. What are you passionate about? If you don't know, then that's a problem. You can do those force rankings. For me, I know that it's like fitness, health and fitness, I guess the garage, right? Health and fitness. I enjoy software and I use Wodify, so I engage with them a little bit because I like technology, and that's technology I use every day. And they could use the input of an owner that doesn't really have anything to hide, right? So I engage with those guys. I like adventure racing. I engage with those guys. We try to bring them together. I like board games and D&D and those things. We bring those together. So what do you enjoy? What are you passionate about? And how do they overlap? I like chickens. Not many people like chickens like I like them, but it's fun and it's enjoyable. I also like dogs. I don't do much with dogs, but I would if I had somebody that was going down that path. So find the things that are enjoyable to you. Would you do them on your own? If you're like, I don't really do anything, I am just a mom or dad. No, that's not true. You're more than that. What else are you into? And hone those things down. Cross some things off the list. That's totally fine too. All right, what I'm not a fan of is in pursuing dreams is like bucket lists. I don't know. I just don't feel great about that. Like I'm crossing things off so that when I die, I did those things. I don't know. Things for me aren't it. It's people. I don't really care about climbing Stone Mountain, but I do care about climbing Stone Mountain with a friend. So a buddy of mine, Glenn Gruschow, he got promoted, decided he didn't like that. He took another job that was less, but I love this. He knew his purpose. I will have more free time because I'm good at this to do the other thing I'm doing, which is building other businesses. So he's crushing his new job. Well, it's not new anymore, but he's crushing it. And he's building his passions, right? As he's 50-ish. But my point there is he's like, hey, Andy, I want to go climb Blood Mountain. Do you want to go? I have the day off because I'm switching jobs and this is the one free day and I want to do that. Do you want to go with me? I could care less about climbing Blood Mountain, although I do like that stuff, but only when I do it with people. So I said, hell yeah, when are we leaving, dog? He's like, tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay, I can be spontaneous if you let me plan it. So I had a couple hours to change my schedule and we went. It was great. Okay, so pursue those new dreams. Don't think, oh no, it's all over. I have to slide it in here. Health and longevity is a big thing. If you don't have your health, then longevity is not in the cards. Half the people we know born in our base year will be dead by the time we turn 75. That just sucks. And then most people are dead by the time they turn after that, it's like 82 or something. So it's not long after 75. So at 50, I got like 30 years left. I really want to engage them and make them great. How do I do that? Well, if I'm decrepit or dumb in the head, which sometimes you can prevent, sometimes you can't, then it's not going to be great. So keep track of your health and fitness. Okay, so I should pull this up. Let me go grab my personal mission and vision, vision and purpose that I'm working on right now. Okay, it's a work in progress, but here we are. And thanks to ChatGPT, I just copied and pasted it into a Google Doc as I move along. And currently it is, my vision is I foster my people. I like that. It's like my people. Yeah, that's true. What does that mean? What's my people? I foster my people toward growth, health, confidence, and financial stability so that they can thrive and embrace their best life. I'm like, that's fancy, but yeah, that sounds good. And then purpose. It's the action to the vision, which I'm still working on right now. All right, if you need help with those things, let me know. I'm happy to walk you through it, but really I would just get into Nicole's next class. It's awesome. It's pretty cheap, and I mean, she's good at what she does. Or talk to Jamie Thomas. She can walk you through all this stuff too, I'm sure. Okay, the other bit is, what can you do about this? Embrace the journey. You're going down the river of life. There's sometimes hell's hole and you got to get through it. And other times it's nice and calm. And sometimes it's just gentle rapids. Sometimes you pop a hole in the boat and you got to get a new boat. Sometimes you want to try a different boat. Just jump in with your life vest, right? Embrace the journey. Don't fret and worry about it. Worrying can be good as long as you act on it. Worrying without action is just going to stress you out and is purposeful. It's not purposeful. It's useless. Don't do it. So just embrace the journey. It doesn't have to, you can plan this out. There are people that have gone before you. Ask the older guys, hey, what's next? Weirdly, it's the first time you've ever done this dance, but it's not the first time the dance has been done. So ask somebody. I think getting creative on staying in contact is awesome. So like these things right here, the cell phone and the apps that they have on it, engage them in the way that they want to be engaged. And this is for your kids. I know there's other stuff that can go on this. I really kind of wanted to talk about that next phase, right? Which is the kids are out and it's changing. So I guess that was my primary point, and I sort of went all over the map, but that's my jam. So engage with them in the ways that they want to engage. They don't text very much. These kids, they want Snapchat. So I've got Snapchat. I don't use it that much, but I try to. They do Instagram reels back and forth. I don't really Instagram except for the gym, which I most of the time don't even know what I'm doing. I just do a video in CapCut. It's like, thank you. And I just post it. They don't use Facebook, which I use a lot. And it's a generational thing, I guess. But I do have the other things to try to engage with them on. They're in college. That means they're hungry and everybody's poor. So I'm engaging with them there. I can take them and their friends to lunch, and it's not that expensive for me, especially since they don't live at home. Or it's not that big of a hit. It's expensive, that one trip, but it doesn't happen much. So engage with them in the new ways that make sense to them that you can jump into, right? Create opportunities. Hey, the family is going to do this thing. You're invited. Bring a friend if you can do that. I mean, you can't take a friend skiing all the time. That gets really expensive. But you can take a friend to the beach usually, right? Or to the cabins in the mountain or hiking. All right. So the other piece of it is, what do you do about yourself? Rediscover those habits. I have got another Google Sheet that I started keeping track of all the things that I enjoy doing. And it's hilarious. I go back to the sheet once a year and I'm like, oh yeah, line dancing. I love that. And then I text Olivia, hey, when you come back, we're line dancing. She's like, yeah, sure we are. So there's things on the list that I just forget that I like. Because time goes on, I move on, or the people are away and I just don't think about it. So have those lists, re-engage those hobbies. I think going back to the idea of purpose, vision, or adding to the world, I think if you only live for yourself, it's super boring. Now, I texted Aaron Vincent. I said, hey man, you know a lot about people in this stage of life as they retire and so forth. I'm looking to get re-involved into some, there's a Goshen Valley Boys branch. Maybe it's not just boys anymore. It used to be. They need volunteers. And I would like to volunteer there. It's something on my heart, widows and orphans. And I may not be good with the ladies, the women, so that's widows, but I'm pretty good with orphans, with the kids. I could do that. So they don't need as much of emotional capacity, but they need somebody to show up, and I'm really good at showing up. So I was like, hey, Aaron, as I move through these phases of life, one thing I recognize is I could get very selfish, and I think I need to be delivering, and I want to, into the world and, have a purpose. I know you've worked with Goshen Valley. What do you know about their volunteer process? Fascinatingly, he said back, wow, not many people will admit that they could become selfish. I'm like, really? Well, I don't know. I'm pretty honest with myself. So we had a good conversation. It was fascinating, and did some texting back and forth. They got into hunting and got off track, but I did get what I wanted out of that, which is some information on, they've got, you can go for a Saturday or you can stay over. So I needed some information, some personal experience on that one. Anyway, move on here. I guess this phase, what I want you to know is it doesn't have to be a downer. It doesn't have to be loss and death. It's rebirth and it's a change. And you just have to be aware that it's coming. And you guys that are young having babies in the gym right now, not, you know what I mean? You're not having babies in the gym. That'd be weird. You're at the gym and then going to hospitals and having babies. Man. This stuff is coming. Don't be afraid of it. It's not bad. You can expect it. It's inevitable. And you can plan for it and get your heart ready for it. There is some sadness, and that's okay. I miss being able to tuck my kids in. But right now, you probably hate it because you have to do it all the time. But now I miss it because the service and the engagement was there. But how can I find that in another way, right? So find what you loved and you missed and then add to it in a different way. And know that the inevitable result, hopefully, is they move out on their own. And then you get to spoil their kids, right? So don't fret on it, but breathe in those emotions. I am not great with emotions. Talk to Jamie Thomas. She'll help you with those. Use it to reinvestigate who you were at 18 when you knew everything and you were moving out. Hey, you actually do know a whole lot more now, and you have a lot more money and time. So use it. Become the person you thought you were, right? Start investing in yourself even more so. Drill down. I don't think it's a bad thing to go into a niche unless it's kind of like, I don't know, drugs or something like that, right? But niche down. I cut things out of my life that don't really fit because I know I'm not really interested in those things. So I do more racing. I do more CrossFitting. I do more board games. I do more hanging out. I do more outdoorsy things. But I don't go to axe throwing. It's not something that I enjoy. I don't do painting. I'm not good at it. Now my kids love it and I'll do it with them, but it's not something that I'll do, right? Okay. I would say, I guess reflect on your own situation and your own journey and where you're at. Maybe start thinking of those stories that you'd like to share. Maybe get them into a Google Doc so you can remember them later on. Possibly invite people over to talk, like people in that same phase. They may not be the same age, and maybe one more older person that can say, hey, this is where I was. Someone that like, and respect. Don't invite, Uncle Eddie, who's like the bum on the street, on his advice, right? You might actually invite, maybe the poorest and the richest, don't tell them that's who you're inviting, over and talk to them both. You may find that they both struggle with the exact same thing, connection probably, and sometimes it's money, sometimes it's not. Money isn't the answer, although it allows you to get to the place you want a lot. So it's much easier. Money is the lubricant of everything. Whatever you want to get, money is usually the answer for it, right? So do get it, but it isn't the end. It isn't the end all be all of what you have. If it was, then, all these super rich guys wouldn't be doing anything else because they have it all. Okay. So if you need help, reach out. I'm not great with emotions, but I am there. If you need real help, reach out to Jamie Thomas. I am not that guy. I'd be happy to talk, but my advice is going to be 50-year-old man advice and not laden with a lot of emotion. I'll probably just tell you to harden up and to write things down and to, journal a lot. I would probably tell you to use ChatGPT and talk back and forth with it so you can just get words. You just need somebody to talk back to you and let you get the words out. Jamie's a professional. I would probably hire her. Okay, so the thing that I left this on this crossbows and catapults forever. And you guys are like, why'd you leave it there? Because it's an awesome game. There's this whole place that's restoration games. They take the old games and remake them. So my buddies, we're all nerds. They're computer sciencey guys. I was electrical engineer, so we kind of fit that theme together. We enjoy getting together and doing board games, playing D&D. We enjoy... Anyway, we have circles that overlap. We have a Venn diagram. We decided to do this thing, and we're surprised. Right? That's weird. It took us 50 years to do this. We could have been doing it before. Why didn't we do it? I don't know. But we're so engrossed in the responsibility of life that we really didn't even take time for ourselves. Usually women are much better than this. Hey, we have a girls' weekend. Guys don't usually have, not many guys have a guys' weekend, especially guys' weekends that don't end up with, we were all just smattered drunk, right? So our group is not huge drinkers. We do drink, but we're not like that. There was another game that I wanted to show you guys. We played the crap out of this one. So back in the 80s-ish, there was The Dark Tower with the books from Stephen King, I think. And then they redid it with Return to the Dark King, and it's got more technology in it. This game was fantastic. It is super expensive, but guys, if you're board gamers, Stu, if you're listening, this game, you probably already know it. This game is tremendous. If you have a thing like board games, guys, there are sites like BoardGameGeek.com for your thing. that'll list out all the coolest games or the things, whatever it is, that you're into. If you're into horses, I bet you there's a website that says the best horse sites, I don't know, there are trails for horses, go walk them, right? The internet has given you the ability to find the things that you're interested in and doing them. Somebody mentioned the other day, geocaching. I'm like, man, we used to do that on trips. I don't know why I don't do that. I'm going to add it to my list. I love that stuff. There's probably a list. Actually, I'll Google it right now. Best geocaching in Woodstock, Georgia. I bet you it's going to give me a kick-ass list. Oh, look at it. I love that when Brave summarizes it with its own AI. I couldn't do it. Something went wrong. Geocaching, Discover Georgia. So yeah, there's websites on it, but they're giving there's one right near me. Interesting. So the internet's your friend. Don't shy away from it. Phases of life are your friend. It's a natural transition. Don't shy away from them. Talk about it. Have a plan. This is an exciting time for me. I'm actually very interested in learning more of who I am and unwrapping unmuffling the me that I muffled up for the kids. They don't need me to be muffled. Like, it is funny now with all the kids being older, we all tell dirty jokes. And they're like, Dad, you have dad jokes, but you're also kind of like dirty and funny and weird dirty. Like, I don't know if I like these jokes coming out of your mouth. And I'm like, I've been like this the whole time. You just didn't know. And they're like, really? So the boys and I laugh a lot. The girls are like, I don't know. Evie loves it. Evie's probably dirtier and grossier than I've ever been. She's hilarious. She has a lot of good dad jokes. But, well, I'm going to say dirty and gross. I mean, like potty talk. Like, like turd jokes are always funny. Whatever. They get to know who you really are. Your kids never really know you. Now they're really going to get to know you. And it's awesome. You can change the parent relationship to a friendship relationship. And you can reach out to those friends that you know you've got and pull them in, especially if their circles overlap. Venn diagrams, right? All right, guys. A little bit different. It's on connection. Connection in the end is the key. Have your connection. Dive in deep. If you got questions, happy to answer them. Andy McCann. What is my email? Andy@CrossFitGarage.com. Or, you could DM me. I'm not good on those. You could text me. I'm okay with that. But email is probably the best thing for me. I'm here for you. I'm not the best emotionally. I got Jamie Thomas for that. All right, guys. Hopefully I'll see most of you at the gym and some of you online. Take care.